into one room, into one set of spaces, and those experiences have enriched my life. So, to talk about service, like who rescued who? Anyhow, that's my little quick reflection on the board year. It's been a lot of change we've gone through. We've got a new director. We've got a whole new world ahead of us, and it's really exciting for me to be sitting here kind of having experienced the last 10 years and looking at the precipice of a whole new life for the Henry. So it's my honor to introduce the Henry's John S. Benke director, Chris Lewis. Chris joined the Henry just almost a year ago in August of 2023. She brings decades of experience of museum work and in the visual arts, including at the Fowler Museum in UCLA and the Los Angeles County Museum of Art and the Museum of Contemporary Art in Los Angeles. It is my deep pleasure to introduce Chris Lewis.
Here I am. Thank you so much, Steve. I think this is an excellent time to express my gratitude to Steve, who is a remarkable individual. He has been the cornerstone of our museum's success. For the past decade, Steve has served on the museum board with unwavering dedication and passion. And for the last 7 years, he has led us as our board chair, steering our institution with wisdom, vision, and integrity. Steve's commitment to the Henry has been nothing short of extraordinary. His strategic insight and collaborative spirit have fostered a culture of innovation and excellence. Steve has been instrumental in expanding our audience and both providing and securing vital funding that has enabled us to undertake our ambitious projects. Steve's genuine passion for the arts and his personal commitment to our institution have inspired us all. He has been a mentor, a guide, and a friend, always ready with a listening ear and wise counsel. His leadership has been characterized by empathy, respect, and an unwavering belief in the power of our mission. Steve, your legacy at the Henry is indelible. We are profoundly grateful for your years of service and your leadership. Please join me in extending our deepest thanks to Steve Hodemacher. The Henry is incredibly fortunate to have a caring, passionate, and supportive board of trustees, and I am continuously amazed by their dedication, or by your dedication, I should say, since you're in front of me. I would like to especially recognize the board officers that served this past year in addition to Steve. That's Julie Sturdahl, Andy Comer, Kristen Scott, and Jen Higgins. And to those that served as chairs of our board committees, my deep appreciation. On behalf of the Henry, thank you all for your leadership. Oh, sorry. I also have slides that I have completely forgotten to show. Let's admire Steve for a moment. There is our very handsome board chair. And we just wanted to put up a list of all of our trustees. You guys are all so important to us, and we thank you so much for your leadership. And this is a really nice photo. I'm sorry, I totally forgot about the slides. I'll just leave it here for a moment. Okay, I would also like to give a really warm thanks to the best board liaison there ever was, and that's Macy Bailey. Thank you so much, Macy. It is a delight to welcome you all to our annual meeting. A big hello to those of you who are watching online, and also a special shout out to our University of Washington friends and partners. Tonight promises to be an inspiring evening as Henry's senior leadership takes the stage to share the incredible mission-driven work we've accomplished over the past year. From groundbreaking exhibitions and vibrant public programs to enriching our collections and gaining national press acclaim, we have much to celebrate. We're also thrilled to give you an exclusive preview of the exciting future that lies ahead for the Henry. I am a month and a half shy of my 1-year anniversary leading the Henry, and stepping into this role with fresh eyes has been nothing short of exhilarating. And I can confidently say there is no institution quite like the Henry. What truly sets the Henry apart is its commitment to fostering innovation. What an incredible commitment this institution has to supporting artists and at every stage of their career. You can always come to the Henry for a fix of the unexpected. We are and have been the leading cutting-edge contemporary art museum in the region. The Henry also boasts an incredible art collection comprising over 28,000 objects in a range of mediums from diverse corners of the globe. The Henry is an extension of the classroom. We are so proud to be a part of the University of Washington, where we can play a role in shaping the minds of thousands of students, inspiring personal and professional growth, and nurturing the next generation of cultural leaders. And inclusivity is the Henry's guiding principle. For decades, the Henry has been a platform for under-recognized artists, amplifying the voices of Black, Indigenous, LGBTQ, and other marginalized communities. Notably, the Henry staff established an internal equity committee 8 years ago, which continues to serve as a valuable resource for fostering meaningful conversations on integrating equity into our daily operations. In addition, this past year, the Henry staff initiated an accessibility working group dedicated to identifying and implementing expanded accessibility options for our visitors, staff, and online audiences. I am immensely proud to have such an incredible team. My gratitude to each and every one of our staff members for their outstanding contributions, hard work, and tireless dedication. I want everyone to give our staff a round of applause for their incredible work. I see Marky back there. Thank you, Marky. It is now my pleasure to invite the Henry's leadership team to the stage. We will begin with Nina Bazichnik, our senior curator, and Shamim Momin, our director of curatorial affairs. And Shamim is actually with us via Zoom. Sorry, slide.
I'm here.
Oh, hi. Everyone's saying hi, Shamim. And then after Nina and Shamim, you'll hear from Sage Summer, who's our Director of Exhibitions and Collections, and then Tanya Bauman, our Director of Communications and Public Relations. So welcome our leadership team.
Hey. Shamim, can you hear us?
I can
Okay.
indeed.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. And just want to make sure all our tech is working before I launch into it. Okay, so as Chris said, this year we've had the great privilege of presenting a roster of exhibitions that highlight a diverse range of artistic practices by some of the most compelling artists of our time. We supported artists at pivotal points in their careers and served as a platform for the creation of new work, expanding the possibilities and reach of their practices. There we go. Have to remember that the thing is that way. All right. So we kicked off the year with Sophia Almaria's Not My Bag, which brought together the artist's recent trilogy of internationally celebrated films alongside new collages for the first time. This was a pivotal show for the artist, made all the more poignant because Sophia partially grew up in Washington State. Relationships to place and questions of diasporic identities figure prominently in her artwork. She blends her individual experience with broader geopolitical histories, grappling with the violent legacies of empire while animating the persistence of the rebellious creative spirit. In addition to her films, the exhibition included a site-specific installation comprised of remnants of Sophia's art-making process, alongside childhood drawings and photographs related to her experience of growing up between Washington and the Middle East. This nonlinear storyboard was a powerful use of space and a first for the artist, mapping her expansive view of the world and a self-identity forged across national borders. Curated by former curatorial department coordinator Adam Monahan, Apolitical Rocks featured photographic works primarily drawn from the Henrys collection. This exhibition highlighted the Henrys' exceptional holdings of historical photography and served as a stunning complement to Sophia's exhibition, presented concurrently, and its inquiry into historical myths and relationships to place. In particular, Apolitical Rocks explored the way landscape photography has shaped experiences of the American West, paying particular attention to among the most significantly banal of landscape subgenres, images of rocks. This exhibition told a compelling counter history and invited viewers to reflect on the power and politics of landscape. A Window to the Sea, a spirit star chiming in the wind of wonder, is a major commission by Mexican-born, New York-based artist Raul de Nieves. The exhibition is the largest expression to date of the artist's unique stained glass, which he made from tape acetate and paper. Raul created 3 large compositions specifically for the Henry skylights, generating an immersive environment that creates a devotional space to the artistic process itself. This project was made possible by the exceptional talents and dedication of the Henrys design and prep team, who worked in close collaboration with the artist to realize his vision, engineering the window frames and the seating to create a total, seamless artistic environment. Throughout the work in the Henry exhibition, de Nieves fuses aesthetic traditions of Mexican craft, religious and esoteric practices, and queer performance to mine narratives of self-actualization and rebirth. The skylights at the Henry track the cyclical changes of the light over a day and the seasons, creating a singular opportunity for Raul to amplify concepts of transformation and regeneration so central to his artistic practice. From the beginning, the exhibition was conceived as a space for performance, bringing together the social and visual dimensions of Raul's practice. The duration of the exhibition has allowed us to work with a number of different collaborators, activating diverse perspectives and ways to engage with the artwork. Most recently, we had Raul back to the Henry to perform as part of his performance duo, Hairbone, which you see there on the left. The effect was a riveting celebration of life and survival. We have also published a catalog in conjunction with Raul's exhibition, which I hope many of you have in hand. Gorgeously designed by Henry lead designer Summer Lee, this richly illustrated book features essays by me and exhibition co-curator Risa Puleo, alongside a series of poetic stanzas Raul wrote as a companion to the exhibition. This book and our other Henry publications serve as an important part of our work to advance the scholarship of contemporary art. And now I'm going to welcome Shamim into the conversation to share more about some of our recent projects.
Thank you. Oh, am I being shown now? Okay, good. I can't tell if you're just seeing a picture or you're seeing me. But
We're
in any
seeing your picture.
Okay. Well, either way, doesn't matter. I know all of you. It's lovely to not quite see you. I would like to talk about the exhibitions this past year. Let's start with Kelly Akashi. Encounters, really, again, one of the extraordinary opportunities that we have to create new commissions that are also collaborative moments with UW. So Kelly, based in Los Angeles, of Japanese descent, and this, again, a fully commissioned exhibition. She's continued her explorations in the mapping of time to locate humankind amongst other consciousnesses, that's a difficult word, along Earth's geological timeline. And as I know all of you have seen, there's a large-scale video filling the back wall of the Double Height Gallery, comprised of vignettes of different kinds of simulated astronomical bodies, in particular the projected gallery collision of the Milky Way and Andromeda, which is the closest galaxy to us. Really 4.5 billion years away, but nonetheless the most imminent one. As well, on the floor of the space, there are folded earth sculptures. We have crystallographs around the side. One of the things I just do want to point out is how closely this exhibition was partnered with our CMA, our Ceramic and Metal Arts department. Kelly worked very closely with them, as well as Trevor from our team to create this work. And that's really one of the exciting elements that we are able to bring to these kinds of commissions. Thank you. And as well, I hope that you have had a chance to see both that and this show, Hank Willis Thomas's Love Over Rules. This was an extraordinary opportunity to collaborate with the Jordan D. Schnitzer Family Foundation and to be able to curate a show from their extraordinary holdings of Hank Willis Thomas's work. His practice as a conceptual artist and activist focuses on themes relating to commodity, identity, media, and popular culture, experimenting with mixed media and mass-produced imagery. Thomas's practice includes photography, sculpture, installation, and more. And I know that I've given most of you a tour of the show, but I do want to say this has really been such an amazing opportunity to have a close conversation with the artist, to use that in our outreach and our ways of working with, and I think Tanya's going to talk a little bit about this later, our ways of expressing who we are and what we want to be as an institution, our outreach along our mission. So this exhibition is about 90 works, 20 years of Hank's work. It's not quite a survey, but it does really draw across the thematics that he works with throughout and continues to do so. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of my time. Let's see. Let's go to the next slide. And I did also want to mention Chloe Bass's Soft Services. I know this seems like a while ago, but you know what? This one is still ongoing and still exciting to folks. So this is one of our Henry Offsite projects. If you recall, it's another commission conceived initially during the pandemic, realized a little bit after, of 16 total of these stone benches / meditative spaces with her own poetic endeavors on engraved on top of them. We are actually looking to have this extended yet another couple of years because it's been so beautifully received. And this is, again, another way in which we try to support our artists in their outreach. For us, of course, UW and its environs are our main space, but looking beyond that, looking where we can reach out to other folks, this has been a really exciting way to set the stage for other kinds of ideas and outreach projects. Next slide. So I'll segue from here into our public programs. Sorry, I need to get this. There's something on top of it. Okay, thank you. So one of the things that I think we've mentioned many a time, but I do want to emphasize, is that our public programs, in many museums, that is considered a sort of side effort or something that's like alongside the exhibitions. For us, it's part of the holistic thinking of how we develop shows, how we develop exhibitions, how we think about how everything relates one to the next. Next slide. And this really runs the gamut of types of formats. So we'll have anything from, I guess, what you might say a more traditional model of artist talk with the curator. You see that with Hank and myself there. Martin Gutierrez represents this year one of our amazing projects, the Monson Photography Lecture, which is one of our more popular events. We usually do a photo presentation as well alongside, which you'll see outside. And that happens annually, where we invite someone of significant contribution to the realm of photography, film, video, and so on. So this, again, I imagine most of you were there for that, but again, you see that there. And then, of course, we have curator talks. You see Adam there in that smaller picture, giving a tour of his Apolitical Rock show. We can go to the next. Another approach that we take within our programs is a way to think about different voices, different ways to think about our shows. The interpretive guide, I think, is one of our most spectacular versions of that. where we invite folks from the university. I mean, it really depends on the show itself. Danielle has done an extraordinary job of bringing folks in. In this case, this past year, speculative fiction has been around Kelly Akashi's show, where folks have created new, essentially artworks around her own artwork. And that is our way to provide unique access to the shows that are not like an institutional voice. Next slide. And artist-driven programs, of course, we have, one of the critical aspects of the way that we work is to create a platform for exhibiting artists to extend their artistic practices, to experiment with alternative presentation formats, and to connect with their communities and audiences in different ways. So these programs can include large-scale events for a broad audience, as in the case of the activations inside Raoul's exhibition, as we mentioned, or they might be more intimately scaled. The workshops that Kelly or Sophia Alamaria created, which generated mutual learning between these artists and their audiences. So running that gamut is really critical for us. And they often emerge in conversations with the artists themselves, as well as with our partners on and off campus. Next slide. So I will here pass this back to Nina, so you can actually look at a person, not just hear a disembodied voice.
Thanks, Shamim. So the Henry's mission is to connect all people with the transformative power of contemporary art. And the Teen Art Collective centers our teen audience. A group of 10 teens met weekly throughout the academic year, building creative community through art making and visiting artist engagements. And this was the 8th year of that program, which was stewarded by Gray Ellis, our lead teaching artist and curriculum specialist, who has worked with the program since its inaugural year. The collective is teen-driven, and each year the group decides together on an end-of-year project to bring their collective talents together. And this year, the teens created an oracle deck, a very ambitious project that is a remarkable testament to the power of youth voice. And you can see on the right there, all those little tins are their oracle deck at their end-of-year family celebration. It's really an incredible object. The Henry Art Liaison Program is a cohort-based initiative that connects our undergraduate University of Washington students with the work of the Henry. And the program is a training ground for audience engagement within museums and a space to learn and share conversation about the field of contemporary art. The Liaisons program is both a 4-credit class and a paid opportunity that's expertly stewarded by Danielle Klang, our Henry program manager. And Liaisons give public tours as well as develop community engagement projects that are inspired by Henry exhibitions and broader practices of contemporary art. This year, the Henry Art Liaisons developed a monthly art-making workshop geared to their fellow students. They hosted a fashion expo inside of Raoul's exhibition, and they facilitated connections between art and science students in workshops inspired by Kelly Akashi's exhibition. So now another core part of our mission and operations, I'm going to hand it over to my fabulous colleague, Sage Summer, Director of Exhibitions and Collections, to share about the exciting developments in collections activity this past year.
Thank you, Nina. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Advances. This past year has been a period of transition and progress within the collections department. In addition to multiple ongoing projects, we facilitated 2 major exhibitions last summer. The museum welcomed nearly 10,000 visitors while the exhibition Taking Care Collection Support Studio was on view. Our team processed 102 works, many of which had never been on display since becoming part of our collection. With the unique premise of making behind-the-scenes works visible to the public, we had the opportunity to present at the 2023 ARCS conference in Montreal. Claire Kenny, former curator, Ann Polson, and I discussed the planning, logistics, programming, and our evaluation of the exhibition to an international audience of registrars and collection specialists. As Nina mentioned, Apolitical Rocks, curated by former Curatorial Department Coordinator Adam Monahan, was an incredibly popular exhibition that featured several photographic works from our collection. With strong visitor interest, with over 14,000 visitors, as well as support from Maren Munson and Jeff Granger, we extended the exhibition by a couple of months, aligning its closing with the end of the winter quarter. We are printing a second run of the accompanying publication this summer. Because we identified an immediate need for a storage assessment, we had to reappraise some of our projects. This included putting moratoriums on both acquisitions and outgoing loans. However, we maintained public visibility through loans already in progress. Works from our collection were featured at the Menil Collection in Houston and the Cascadia Art Museum in Edmonds. Additionally, we received a gift from the Helen Frankenthaler Foundation that includes 10 prints and 16 proof prints by the artist, along with the funds to support programming for these works in the future. Speaking of awards, the Henry is honored to have received a 4-year, $500,000 grant to support our ongoing conservation efforts. This award from an anonymous foundation will allow us to pursue conservation treatment for many of our paintings and works on paper. In this first year, painting conservator Peter Malarkey has begun evaluating paintings from the Founders Collection. The Henry will also purchase a handheld XRF spectrometer, an instrument used to provide elemental analysis of a wide variety of materials. This will be used to better understand the material composition of objects within the collection and plan for their unique care, access, and treatment. Also recently announced, the Henry is a recipient of the Save America's Treasures Award from the Institute of Museum and Library Services. The $204,000 grant will allow us to upgrade our storage system, providing an improved long-term environment for many paintings and framed works within the permanent collection. Much of our work this year would not have been possible without the support of the conservation team. They were involved in conservation review, display recommendations, treatment, matting, and condition reporting for multiple exhibitions, as well as several ongoing projects in support of the care and preservation of the collection. The Henry became a partner in the Pacific Northwest Conservation Science Consortium. Our first project involves contributing to ongoing research led by the Seattle Art Museum and the Jordan Schnitzer Museum to analyze the binder compositions in Mark Tobey paintings. We have identified 2 paintings within our collection that can support the work led by Dr. Vanessa Johnson. We anticipate this work taking place this summer. A priority for the Henry is to rehabilitate James Turrell's Sky Space in time for the centennial anniversary in 2027. In September, the lid of the Sky Space became immovable due to a mechanical failure. Our facility manager, Corinne Wheeler, contacted the original fabricator and installer for repairs. Their consultation led to the repair and replacement of multiple hydraulic components. They were also able to provide valuable information that will help us when updating the long-term maintenance plan for the structure. The lid has since been rebalanced and will be functional for the summer within a couple of weeks. Exploring options to update LightRain's lighting system remains a priority, as it is currently not functional. We continue to work with James Turrell's lighting person to replace old fluorescent lights and their drivers with a new driver system and LEDs. We are considering funding and implementation options in the coming years. The Collections and Exhibitions Department is now nearly a full team with the recent hiring of Stephanie Moore as Manager of Collections. With Stephanie's expertise, we can continue to advance many of our goals in the collection for the next year. Upcoming collections projects include preparation for the installation of the Josh Fott exhibition in our East Gallery, spring of 2025, the IMLS-funded upgrades to one of our main storage spaces, and multiple lobby and mezzanine exhibitions featuring works from our collection. I want to highlight the dedication and care the entire team has shown this past year. Thank you, Madeline Craig, Claire Kenny, Trevor Goosen, Erica Bentley Holland, Alex Hines, and the rest of the Collections and Exhibitions team. Now, I'd like to introduce Tanya Bauman, Director of Communications and Public Relations, to discuss visitor experience and press over the past year. Thank you.
Thank you, Sage. It is my pleasure to share a brief update with you all on the museum's impact. I'm going to take this out. On the world of contemporary art and ideas, as well as our communities. So this was really a banner year for the Henry. Can you all still hear me? Okay, great. In terms of press coverage, not only for our institution, but for the artists that we represent and that exhibit here at the Henry. First of all, I want to point out a wonderful review of the Hank Willis Thomas exhibition in the Seattle Times that came out earlier this spring that I all hope you all had a chance to read. Also, KUOW gave us an all thumbs up for our fall exhibitions, including Raul de Nieves and Kelly Akashi. And Crosscut invited visitors to sit in quiet meditation or marvel at the explosion of color. Either way, your mind and body may feel a much needed shift. And this was in response to our Raul de Nieves exhibition, which is still on view, and I hope you have a chance to see it if you haven't already. Not on the slide, but I want to mention a recent press highlight from the Seattle Times. They recommended the Martin Gutierrez exhibition, on view still currently on the upper floor, as one of 3 must-see shows by Indigenous artists in Seattle this spring. And on to national coverage. This was an exceptional year for the Henry, again, for national coverage as well. We are really pleased to have received extensive national media coverage, again, for Hank Willis Thomas. This exhibition was featured in the New York Times, Forbes magazine, CNN Style, and just recently, the Brooklyn Rail. This type of coverage not only puts the Henry in dialogue with our peers and audiences nationally, but it really is an important aspect of our work in supporting artists and amplifying their ideas and their work. And I really love how that all works in tandem to lift up all those voices as well as the institution. We also had national coverage in Cultured magazine for Kelly Akashi, and in Afar magazine, being one of a place in Seattle of 25 places to visit in the world. I'm going to move on and share a little bit about visitation this year and what we're hoping to see. So this year, our projected museum attendance is 53,000 museum visitors. So again, we're not quite at the end of our fiscal year, but pretty confident in that number. That is a 22% increase from our previous fiscal year, which is quite a jump. So yes, thank you. It's really amazing to see, and you can see the upward trend. As you may know, it is still, for many cultural organizations, including museums, a difficult time to re-engage audiences and really, provide the kind of experiences that, people are looking for. So I'm incredibly proud of this collective work, and thank you all for contributing to that. About 30% of our visitors are student and educators. I think that's a really important number to share. It speaks to our strong presence within the university community and our role as an institution for learning, for education, and for enrichment. About 89% of our visitors receive free access to the museum. In 2021, we instituted a pay-what-you-can admissions model, which replaced our paid ticketing system. This was a really important effort for us to lower barriers to participation and be a more welcoming, more inclusive, a more safe space for all. And I'm really excited about these statistics because we are really becoming that place where everybody is welcome and feels welcome, and where financial barriers are really not in any way an inhibitor to having a wonderful artistic experience. I also want to share a few stats about social media, which is really, in many ways, our first and second location. of course, social media is an important aspect of encouraging visitation to the museum, but it's really also an important platform for us to engage a national and international audience, people who may never be able to visit the Henry because of their location. And we really focus on, in social media, on that kind of storytelling, amplifying the voices of our artists, their ideas, as well as our institution, and really see that as a parallel to driving museum visitation and having firsthand experiences. We had a lot of growth this year, 8.4% growth on Instagram followers and a 5.4 increase in engagement on Instagram followers as well. Total museum social media followers were at 34,000, which includes Facebook and YouTube as well, which are strong platforms for us. And I want to give a quick shout out to Sarah Borders, as well as former employee Sophia Marciniak for leading our social media efforts at the museum. But numbers can only tell so much. So I want to close my short presentation with two, I think, incredible quotes from participants, from people who have had experiences at the Henry and can speak from the heart about what the Henry means to them. So I want to read these ones out loud for you, not my own voice, but certainly in their own words. This is from an Artful Aging participant. This is a program that is a tour program for our exhibitions for adults 55 and plus, led by our Henry Art Liaison program, which you heard about earlier. This program was so stimulating and is a great opportunity to realize that even at our age in life, there is more to learn and keep growing. And I want to share this incredible quote from Nora, who is one of our Henry Teen Art Collective members. And you heard about the Henry Teen Art Collective program earlier today. I made this painting of me and my sisters for Daniel Alexander Jones. I choose to remember as whole. A great opportunity to work with an artist and include my art in a professional exhibition. So I think I want to close with that and just, every day I come to work, I'm super proud of being here and engaging audiences every day in the work that we do and connecting artists with audiences. And I think this quote I love in particular because to see young people feel themselves seen and heard in a museum setting is really important, and we need to think about, future generations. And I'm going to hand it back to Chris to give you some updates on finances and some other things.
First of all, I just want to thank Nina and Shamim and Sage and Tanya. That was outstanding, and I just want to say congratulations to all of you for your incredibly meaningful work and also for being exceptional leaders and really championing your teams to accomplish so much great work. So congratulations to you. So shifting gears a little bit, we had a really fun and successful gala this past year. The theme was Shifting Perspectives. And of the 12 galas that I attended, can you hear me? The Henry was my absolute favorite, and I just want to give a shout out to our board. They were absolutely instrumental in the success of this gala. We exceeded our fundraising goal by almost $100,000. We had over 200 dinner guests, and we sold out of our tickets, and we had over 100 people at our infamous dance party. So congratulations to all, and thank you again for all your support. Okay, yay. And then I am sharing this pie chart with you. This actually reflects our fiscal year 2023, so the year ending June 30, 2023. So this is not our most previous year, and that is because we have not closed out the year of 2024. So we are projecting the end of this year, a balanced budget, however. But a couple things that I'd like to call out in this pie chart is that the Henry is partially funded by the University of Washington. So every year, the UW supports 10 staff salaries of our 50 staff members, and they also support our facilities upkeep. So in FY23, they supported 44% of our income, and then of course we fundraise for the other 56% through individual contributions, grants, corporate sponsorships, the gala, and earned income. And notably, 77% of our expenses are focused on our exhibitions and public programs, which really reinforces that we are fulfilling our mission to engage all people in the transformative power of contemporary art and ideas. Now, I would like to welcome Nina and Shamim, our fabulous curators, back for a glimpse of what's to come. And then we will invite all of you to ask us questions. Okay, here you are.
Thanks, Chris. You got it. This is a exciting part. All right, so we are really excited for the year ahead, amplifying diverse voices and galvanizing dialogue and connecting visitors with the most compelling art and ideas of our time. Okay, so in July, which is just around the corner, we'll welcome Lucy Kim to Seattle from Boston to install an exhibition of innovative print works. And for her Henry show, Kim has created a series of new work using an experimental printing process she developed with scientists, in which genetically modified bacteria cells produce melanin directly on paper. And so this, the melanin that Kim using is the same black and brown pigment that plays a key role in the color of human skin, hair, and eyes. And by using melanin and displacing it from the important biological and health functions of the body, Kim questions the way in which the meaning and material of human appearance are subject to mutation in our social imagination, and these are including the false myths of racial hierarchies. And we're really thrilled to be hosting this first museum exhibition of Kim's path-breaking melanin works. The exhibition promises to be visually stunning as it is conceptually compelling, with one image stretching across 60 individually printed pages that extend nearly the full height of the 20-foot walls of the gallery. A.K. Burns, What is Perverse is Liquid, will open later this summer. A.K. is an interdisciplinary artist whose work explores the environment and society through a feminist queer perspective. Burns's Henry exhibition features a series of immersive video installations alongside sculpture and wall-based artworks that invite us to consider the porous boundaries between landscapes, human bodies, and water. And at the center of the exhibition is Burns's Negative Space series of video installations. And this series is inspired by the genre of science fiction and building speculative worlds. The installation at the Henry will amplify the immersive quality of these artworks, inviting viewers into an alternative space to question inherited hierarchies and the power dynamics that structure our social relationships. We were talking about ghosting earlier. Our next rotation of the museum's exterior mural that will open later this summer will feature an incredible new work by Christine Sun Kim. Kim is an American artist based in Berlin who explores sound's social and political dimensions. Kim's work uniquely addresses her experience as a deaf individual in a hearing-centric society and broader societal influences on whose voices hold sway. For the Henry, Kim has created a new composition inspired by musical notation and the social phenomenon of being ghosted. The resulting artwork serves as a commentary on accessibility, ableist exclusion, and agency through refusal, urging reflection on social structures and processes of communication. As Sage already indicated, we're planning several projects next year that highlight the exceptional holdings of the Henry's permanent collection. Overexposures is organized by curatorial assistant M. Chan and features a selection of photographic works that use light to obscure, obliterate, and alter the photographic subject. And then we'll also be converting the lobby gallery to a space for 2 permanent collection rotations featuring recent additions of contemporary art to the collection. The compelling work in these rotations is a testament to the exceptional generosity of our donors who believe in our work and mission of the Henry. And the first rotation opening this fall will span media and highlight a diversity of artistic perspectives around the subject of the body. And then in the spring, as Sage indicated, we'll install the monumental textile work Sanctuary by San Francisco-based artist Josh Vaught. And this work was commissioned for St. Mark's Cathedral on Capitol Hill and entered the Henry's collection after that initial presentation in 2017. Sanctuary, it's hard to tell in images, but it's really a materially rich piece, poignant artwork that incorporates Seattle queer history, pop culture, and the artist's personal history to explore themes of desire and devotion and practices of building queer community. And I'm going to hand it over now to Shamim to close us out for the exciting year ahead in exhibitions. Shamim?
Yes, thank you, Nina. So in the South Gallery, we're looking forward to a full year program with Tala Madani. Born in Iran, now living in Los Angeles, though she spent much of her time in the Pacific Northwest growing up. So there is a wonderful connection there in terms of her contextualization. But her work really creates images that explore the complexity and contradiction of contemporary life across the board. Paintings are full of both ribald humor, dead serious critical insight, depicting human figures at their most vulnerable, violent, and perplexing. And here's the thing, like you'll see some things that may disturb you, that may make you laugh, that may make you think. And that's really the goal of the entirety of the project. One of the exciting elements of this is what you see here in this larger image is a still from a animation, which she works in thoroughly, but this is the first time she's been working towards a feature length animation. And this is the first chapter, so to speak, of it that we will be presenting. So it's a really extraordinary opportunity for us, along with a number of paintings and as well as sort of access to the process, the way of working in creating these animations. So you'll see what she calls artifacts of the drawings, of the cells, of the different ways in which one creates the ongoing animations as well. So you're going to have a scale of things from the monumental to the intimate happening in this show. And as I said, as a new commission, really one of those exciting ways in which that we support an artist's vision. And so I do want to mention that it is this exhibition is the third in an ongoing series of year-long new works commissions that aim to be more immersive, to increase and diversify community-engaged programs and align with the University of Washington's academic year to foster academic opportunities. So for those of you who have been watching, that's the point of these longer spectrum shows, is to really allow them, like Raul's, like Donna's before that, to engage and to partner and to collaborate in ways that are meaningful, deep, and extraordinary in terms of what the Henry can do that is different than many other museums. Again, deepening public learning and engagement with contemporary art. So I'm super, super excited about that. I hope you all are as well. Be prepared to laugh and also feel disturbed by all of what you'll see coming up. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say I'm immensely proud of this team and the incredible accomplishments from this past year. And I just, I just want to thank everyone so much again. Really terrific presentations. And again, to all of our supporters, to our board, to our members, we could not do this work without you. So thank you so much. And we'd like to invite you to ask us questions. We are all here for you if you have any questions for us. Do you want to join me? I don't want you to be stuffed in the corner there. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Guy.
Okay.
Hello. My question is, what do you attribute that, by the way, 22% lift in attendance is amazing. That's huge. What do you attribute that to? Like, what do you think you did differently last year that caused that amazing number to pop?
There's a few factors. I think one of it is really the incredible curatorial programming that we've had this year and that we will continue to have. Hank Willis Thomas, the notoriety of this artist's name and all the press that you learned about that we received, I think gave us a really big lift. That's really reflected in our attendance numbers, specifically, after an opening of an exhibition. And so I think all those factors really contribute to that. And in the future, rethinking, going deeper with our public programs, I think there's a lot of opportunity. We've also seen, more group school visits come through as people return to campus after the pandemic. So I think a lot of different things at play. So not just a marketing function. I think it's really the organization as a whole, even everything that we do inside, like providing a welcoming experience to every visitor who comes through our door, making them feel seen and welcome, I think really engages folks, makes them spread the word, makes them want to come back. And I think, working really at that small level every day, everyone who works here makes all the difference.
There's a striking Raul de Nieves publication that I actually just became aware of that I understand that Henry self-produced and created, and I found it very, very impactful and quite beautiful. And I'm wondering if you could tell us a bit more about how this publication came to be, but also what your plans might be for future publications around our exhibitions.
Yeah, publications are an important part of delivering on our mission to amplify and hold up artistic voices and contribute to the scholarship of contemporary art. So our publications on a grand scale, I'm calling it grand, this is a pretty ambitious scale for the Henry, and as well as our, takeaway publications that we produce, like the one that Sage mentioned for Apolitical Rocks, are an important part of something we consider when we're developing our exhibitions. Commissioning writing, developing scholarship around the projects. This particular exhibition we've been starting to budget in over the last several years, creating a more major significant publication like this in each fiscal year. And so we identified Raul's exhibition as being the year-long exhibition this year that would, receive that opportunity. And so that's how we collectively decided on, and it was the first, he hasn't really had a significant publication yet, even though he has exhibited extensively. So this was an opportunity to really contribute to the artist kind of career in that way. And so we conceptualized what the contents would look like as a curatorial kind of effort alongside Summer Lee, our lead designer here at the Henry, and that is how you see what you see. So it was internally produced. We did work with an external editor to ensure, that everything was, up to snuff in that regard. And then we are planning future publications for FY26 for upcoming projects.
May I jump in for just a second? I know, again, I'm
Yeah,
just this, but I think one of the critical things to keep in mind for all the folks in the room is that some of our takeaway publications are the first scholarship or the most important scholarship for those artists at that time. So we need to keep that in mind as well. So the print publications that get a, Library of Congress code and so on and so forth are critical for sure. But let's note that our takeaway publications can run the gamut from a one-pager that you just walk out with to like the first critical essay of an artist. And that too fosters the groundwork that we do in supporting artists and giving them a space to have voice and to have meaning going forward. So I just want to make mention of that because it is part of our publication plan and our distribution.
Yeah, and Andy, if you haven't seen some of those, like Hector Garcia, Elaine Cameron Weir, the Nina Chanel Abney publication, all of those have significant essays and content that are at the front that you can also pursue.
Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you all. This concludes our presentation, our annual meeting. And I just want to thank you all for being with us this evening. And again, your support means so much to us. And we look forward to seeing you in the gallery soon. Thank you.